Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Haitians, and the foreign Israelites that look like the other nations. Gotta give all praises to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. I'm going to give double to this truth that's been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, and fast, and show for wrath to all those who are part of the elect, to the hopeful elect. Lord willing, this be edifying to those towards righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. Lord willing, we be part of that number. Judgment always comes to light and is not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 9 is unto a ring. 2 Esdras chapter 5 verse 42. With a couple of articles, also some other various articles that the Lord put spirit on me to deal with through the power of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. This is folks lining up the Implant. Iran, which is Persia, unveils its hype end time topics. So we're going to deal with some of this stuff, Lord willing, to set upon to the flock. If that music's too loud, let me know. Try to not make it too loud. Okay. So we're going to get started, Lord willing. So we're going to go in here. We're going to read a little bit of this. Meet the folks lining up for Elon Musk's brain implant. And just like a lot of brothers making videos about it, but Bishop Nathaniel, he always comes and say, it's June, and ain't no see here. Well, I haven't heard that this summer. He sounds pretty quiet over there. He should be. This is Meet the folks lining up for Elon Musk's brain implant. Corp has been cleared by the FDA to start human trials for his medical technology and of potential volunteers. There's not a shortage. There's going to be a lot of people who are up for this seat here. Okay. After years of delays, Neuralink Corp, a startup co-founded by Elon Musk and a small group of 2016, is set to begin human trials for an implantable brain chip. It says will revolutionize humanity just to get blown up. And people are more lead the see. So you got your people who love Yahawah, Yahawashi, you got the people who love them. Okay, come on. It's kicking. Okay, let me do something. Because I'm using some Wi-Fi that I got over here, but it's skipping. Let me turn on my Wi-Fi on my phone, my hotspot. See if it works better. Okay. Skipping, big bro. I appreciate you checking for me. The water. Get a little bit better. So back to reading a little bit of this. I said if it's skipping at all, and I'll try to go switch it back. But it should be a little bit better. So this is somebody speaking, said, I would love to be on the cutting edge of medical science of humans and technology, says Adam Woodworth, a 40-year-old security manager for a short-term memory loss due to the military injury. So a lot of people that's going to take this seat will be who have injuries, who have certain things some people can't see, you know. So they're looking at this as this is going to get them put to death. They don't understand, you know, that this is wrath of the Lord coming down, you know, on the people. You know, they don't want to understand that this isn't supposed to deal with. So yeah. Much better. Okay, the water. I'll just, oh, come on now. Seem like it's slowing down. Okay, yeah, I don't got too good internet with the water. But anyways, to talk about quit going out. But it's talking about most of these people who have injuries, things like that, they're here, you know. And so while that's happening, preach about this, which is ones that, you know, all that are in the truth, we go over a lot, because next big see coming could happen this year. We don't know, but the way things are going, hey, what's going on? She was refusing to get treatment for tuberculosis in Washington State, and they put her in prison for a year, or after a year in West. Okay, and why is my screen going off? Oh, Lord, man, you know, some bullshit today. So, anyways, they went and locked her up, and they made her take this tuberculosis, and now he take the but Lord, you can hear me. So anyway, this is insane. Anyways, basically, this is what's going to start happening when they put this C-hip out there. Like, if you don't take this thing, they're going to arrest you and throw you in a concentration camp, just like they arrested that woman for nothing. Come on now. Maybe going on with the internet today, Salakia. But anyways, Lord, you can hear me. They're gonna make a lot of people take this stuff. Okay, a lot of people like it, and it said us You know, he poured at least $100 million of his own money. Like Elon Musk poured at least $100 million of, you know, so Shalom. Yahawashi Masharakathon, his own money, okay? Elon Musk putting his own money in this kind of stuff. He 100 million to the interest. So, you know, we're gonna get into some precepts, ones that we're very familiar with, those that are in, and then you new people that are coming up. This is what's coming up. You know, this is what's going to happen. You know, so this is team. On all the players. All right, Salakia, my whole thing just shut off. Real fast. Bear with me, Salakia, y'all. So now we back to Revelations, chapter 13, verse 15. Some bad going. Okay, should be working better now. Okay, so Revelations, chapter 13, verse 15. Just like they arrested this lady for not medication that they wanted her to take, that's what's going to go down. Like that kind of stuff is going to happen when the sea hit comes. People who don't want to take locked in concentration camps, some of us going to get away, some of us aren't. Some of us going to get spiritual powers. You know, it's all up to the will of Yahawah. So Revelation chapter 13, verse 15. And it reads, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, just to revive Roman Empire. When, you know, yesterday I talked about how the Tower of Daniel, we're at the bottom of the feet in the potter's clay, which is basically, you know, to revive Roman Empire. You know, that the image of the beast speak and cause many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay. And, you know, a lot of us, some of us is going to die for this truth. You know, but the majority of us is going to get saved out who are part of the elect. Lord want to be part of that number. You know, we just a hopeful elect for right now. We hope to be the ones who endure to the end. Verse 6 calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. See what Elon Musk got? He got the brain chip. So that's one part of the prophecy. Then you got the people who are putting the C-hip in their hand, and what they're trying to do is combine them both, some in their hand and in their head, but it's either one or, See, it says right hand or in their foot. Both of them, it's the C-hip system. They're gonna get some people with the head implant. They're gonna get some people with the hand. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. And when you look up that word mark, it means charagma, which is precision, okay? Or the name of the beast or the number of his name, and that number, you go over here, it says, here's wisdom, let him have understanding, count the number of the beast, was the number of a man, and the number is 103 scoring 6. And when you go look, about this number, it's a barcode. They want to digitally, it's a barcode. They want to digitally enslave us, That's what they want to do. Bring up enough, we can't bring this situation up enough. So when you look, as you can see, hold on. See how they got the 3 indentions? That's what's going to be in your hand or in your forehead. Those 3 little dots, those 2 little dots on each corner of that mark. That's what it is. They want to make you a barcode. They want to make us barcodes. You see? And we ain't going with that. We ain't going with that. We're not doing none of that. So that's what they got coming up as they do these humans to see how it works. Make sure they can run the whole database system on everybody. And this is also what's going on. Chapter 20, verse 4. Is going to get beheaded for this stuff, and that's why we really warning our people like this. This is something very serious, It's around with. So Revelation chapter 24 verse 4, and it reads, and I saw the thrones, and they sat upon them and judged them 44,000 men, but they got the multitude under them, with the 144,000 men to judgment. Saw for the word of power, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image among their hands, lived and reigned in Mashiach 1,000 years. You see? And that those ones that lived and reigned with the Mashiach for 1,000 years, that's that 1,000 years of slavery that the other nations are going to go through. They're going to go through that slavery for 1,000 years. For the ones, in Yahawah and Yahawashi, and all Israel on down. They're going to have that year. And those were the things that John the Revelator saw. And and a lot of the brotherhood and the elders and apostles went about. But, people don't understand that the prophets are back. The prophets of old, but all the prophets are old. But that was understanding now. Because John, all of them today, they can understand that stuff. Like they can put it together, that falling away that you spoke of, and when he came back after he was crucified, he was resurrected, he came back, and he told us to be falling away first, and all, how long is the heathen going to last? And he said it's got to be a falling away first. And that, I'm gonna tear him up, and come back and destroy him. So this Revelation chapter 2, and it's a lock, and it's just so Revelation, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil. And why is this thing just blanking out? God, I'll leave, man. Oh, I'm gonna have to go switch to my 5. It don't start blanking out, y'all. My internet's been horrible this last lesson. So, anyways, says, fear none of those things. Thou hold the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. And what's going to be? It could be 15. It could be any of that. You know, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Some of us are going to have to go through that, but the Lord, you know, is going to put the Spirit on those people to be strong to go through that. You know, some of them are going to be part of the honorable multitude. You know, some of them are going to be part of the 144,000 elect men. But whenever that time Bahasham Yahawashi comes back, you know, parts in the clouds to come get his, or he doesn't part after the new nuclear destruction. He's going to call the elect up, and the ones that died here, they're going to come with the living, and we're going to go up to the clouds. Well, Yahawah Yahawashi, to the indignation of those intercontinental ballistic missiles come past, back down with those 144,000 elect men. They're going to slay everything that's left. You know, that's what's coming. You know, we can't warn our people enough. That's our job, to warn people that this is what's coming. Very big major part of it is, you know, them doing these human trials, trying to test this stuff. You know, and while that's going on, they have something called a Fata missile. It's first hypersonic missile that can travel at 15 miles. So basically, it'll take seconds to hit the land of Israel. 400 seconds. That's all the time it's gonna take. Look at that thing. And they were always trying to get a missile. They got them now. These are the weapons of the Lord's indignation. Look at that thing. Gone. Yep. Stuff's gonna destroy the land of Israel and the land of America, Babylon the Great. Them things ain't nothing to play with. Has a range of 1,400 kilometers. You know, and Iran, they've been saving up their petroleum and collecting it and trying to come up with it. A couple of years ago, they were saying death to America. Okay, which is why a ball. Okay, they would say death to this place. Okay, and that's what we're saying too, because we don't like it here. We want to get the fuck out of here. You know, we don't like America, you know, but we're just stuck here because we're captives. So, you know, that's them doing that, setting up their little missiles, making them look real shiny, making them look real nice. That's the Lord got them. Well, chapter 3, verse 10. Beat your swords, beat your plowshares in the sword. Let the weak say I am strong. She said, see, they saying let the weak say I am strong. You see? While they doing that, there's another article I got that talks about how China has got their hands in everything in America, Babylon arms to the technological systems. So what happens if they just shut down all the defense systems for America, Babylon the Great, and they just over here? That's what's going to happen. They got their hands on it. So we're gonna just do this. We're gonna read a little these intercontinental ballistic missiles, even though they say they not in the scriptures. We're gonna read about it. So this is Joel chapter 2. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, which is Israel. Zion is Israel, or Yasharallah, the tower. And basically, we're the trumpet. We're blowing the trumpet and sound an alarm in my holy mountain, is Mount Israel, starting with the men. You know, because that's our job, to blow the mountain, and the woman's job is to take care of her man. You know, that's the whole system of Yahawah Yahawashi. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord come at hand, a day of darkness and gloominess. Why? Because of intercontinental ballistic missiles. A day of clouds, because the and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, which is nations. A great people and a strong, there have neither be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So these places are going to be destroyed, and they're never going to get these nations. They're going to be destroyed forever. Okay, and they're going to come back, but they're going to be our tributaries, our slaves. A fire devoureth behind them, a flame burneth. The land is at the Garden of Eden before them. See, that's talking about the land of Israel, because that's but the whole eastern side, you know, was the garden, you know. But now that the headquarters of that, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. They're gonna get everybody else is gonna get destroyed. And the ones that hide in their bunkers, they're gonna get pulled out and they're gonna have to go into slavery, which is Esau Edom. The ones who claim they Israel, but they're not. So like the noise of the chariots and the tops of the mountain shall they leap, like a noise of a flame of fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people that set in a battle array. He's talking about the missiles. For their face, people shall be much pain, all blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They're talking about those when they hit, the fire is going to just, they shall march everyone in his ways. Why? Because there are GPS systems on it, and they shall not break their ranks. They're going to hit where the Lord wants them to go from the Almighty. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. They hate each other. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So they're not going to be duds. They shall run to and fro in the city, and shall run up upon the wall, and they shall climb up upon the houses, and they shall enter into the windows like a, see? They're going to come in like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, and the heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be darkened, the stars draw their shining. Okay, and the Lord will utter his voice before his army. And when it's talking about the stars shall withdraw their shining, so like that's talking about there ain't going to be nobody teaching no word no more. The elect of Israel are going to be gone. There's going to be no light here no more, because they're basically the stars on the ground. See, they're the constellation they beamed up. This place is done for, and everywhere else that the Lord ordained to be destroyed. And the Lord shall order the force before his arms. Camp is very great, where he executed, for he that executed, for he is strong that executed his word. For the day of the Lord is terrible. Who can abide it? Okay. Therefore also now saith the Lord, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with weeping and with mourning. See? And when it talks about his army is great, what's that on Galatians? You know, because he said the army was seating a great amount of horses, and the horses is that military power. When you look in Revelation chapter verse 16, it says, in the number of the army of the men, 200,000, and I heard a number of them. And that was John the Revelator seeing that vision, seeing a million intercontinental ballistic missiles coming from the east. See what I'm saying? Zechariah chapter 12, verse 9. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Where we're at is Jerusalem or Jerusalem or Yasharallah, okay? Wherever we're at is where Israel is, because we're Israel. You know, we are the biblical Hebrew Israelites. So wherever we're at is really where we're in Israel. But we're Israel. It starts with the body. It's really a people, because you look in Genesis, Jacob's name was turned to Israel. So it's a body of people before it's a place. So chapter 9, verse 8. And it reads, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord are upon, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, say Bahasham Yahawashi," which is what? Israel. Jacob's Israel. You know, you look it up in Genesis. So this is Ezekiel 25:7. Or what I might pull it up. Ezekiel 25:7. And it reads, "Behold, therefore I will stretch out my hand upon thee and will deliver thee for a the heathen, and I will cut thee off from the people, and I will cause thee to perish out of the countries. I will destroy thee, and thou shalt know I am the Lord Yahawah Yahawashi." See, and that's what happened to us at that time. We were cut off and we perished in the countries, but now the curses are being put on them. And they got this. That's the reason why they have to go to. It says, what's done unto Israel shall be done to them. So this is why this is judgment. But the nations don't understand what righteous judgment is. And they won't until he exalts it. They won't understand until he pays them to their face. So this is Numbers chapter 33, verse 52. "Then ye shall drive the inhabitants of the land before you and destroy all their pictures and destroy all their molten images and quite pluck their high places." And that's what's coming. All their molten images and all their stuff they worship is going to get destroyed. The inhabitants of the land and dwell therein, for I have given you the land to possess it. And that's what's coming for Israel. You know, start 144,000 elect men in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi who leads them. And then the honorable multitude is the ones who cling to, and they'll basically be the first citizens, you know, who get to, you know, be the first rulers, or, you know, people get to have the homes and everything. And, you know, the elect men will be sitting at the judgment seat, you know, and we'll all have new bodies. Lord willing, we call it a number. So while that's going on, they're showing their missiles on their brag. You got Russia over here. It says that there can be no doubts that Russian forces blew up Kabalka Dam, okay? And they said that a lot of people's houses could be flooded because of this. So this is showing there's tensions rising concerning, you know, the issues that they have. So we're gonna watch a little bit of this. Look at that. Look at that. Woo, boy. They said it's gonna flood even more as the days go by. So they're accusing them. So what's that gonna cause? More chaos. Look at that. Ooh, wee, man. Jack they shit up, man. So that's something that's going on over there. Happened today. Lord's carrying out some swift judgment. He's speeding up this time. So Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. And as we keep reading these passages every day, some of we read the same ones. It shows you how fast he's moving. He's not being slack in these judgments, these prophecies. He's fulfilling them bit by bit every day. So this is Matthew 24:6. And ye shall hear wars and rumors of wars. See that for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. So it's not yet. Then we got Mark chapter 13, verse 7. It says, and when ye shall hear of wars and rumors, be not troubled, for such things must need be, but the end shall not be yet. Now we got Matthew chapter 20, verse 52. And it reads, and Yahawashi said unto him, put up again thy sword into this place, for all sword shall perish with the sword. And that's why we're supposed to use this word. This word is our sword. We're not supposed to be using weapons. So we keep telling Jalen that, because you're going to perish by the sword. That's why we're not to use weapons. But as we can see, they're using them, dams and stuff with them, and flooding people and out, and all types of stuff is going on. Sending missile strikes, women, children, nothing over there. They don't care. Because you know why? Because it says that we're supposed to be the battle weapons. Who wouldn't be part of that number? The elect men, those 144,000 mighty men. Says Jeremiah 51 verse 20, thou art and weapons of war, for with thee I will break in pieces the nations, and with thee I will destroy kingdoms. See, that's what's going to happen. He's going to use these men to destroy the kingdoms, and that's why we are working for Yahawashi. They're the next ruling governors and leaders of the universe forever. And not let alone that, we're working for them. It says because the prophets are subject to the prophets. If you were a prophet back then, you're going to be prophesying this time. That's just what we do. So Exodus, and then you have major prophets, and then you have the minor prophets. You got some of the ones that are under the major and minor prophets. It was more than just the 12 disciples. They had, young ones under them who were still teaching the same thing as well on the highways and byways, just like today. Brothers out there teaching, more than just 12 disciples. Exodus chapter 21, verse 12. He that smiteth the man so that he died to be put to death. That's why we're not supposed to be killing nobody. But you see people over there in the land of Israel, they act like the Lord loves them, but what are they doing? They're killing a whole bunch of people. See? You're not supposed to be like doing that kind of stuff. And of course, we have ordained those wars and commanded them to kill. So that those deaths were righteous. Those deaths, but he had the armies of Israel do us, to go take over the other lands, because he promised those lands. You see? So, but it's different now. This is a different time. You got to go by the times. And this time, we're not supposed to be using weapons. We're supposed to be, I'm not carnal now. So that's how you're able to distinction who is really Israel, because there ain't nobody in GM weapons. And anybody who follows GMS, we're not using no weapons either. This first one, chapter 4, verse of power, little children, and have overcome them. How? Because we're following the rules of Yahawashi, because greater is he than he that is in the world. So we're greater than these people. That's why we like, we don't even gotta pick up no weapons. We don't need none of your stuff. We don't need nicks. We don't need none of your shit. We're good. All we want to do is teach the word till the Lord says stop. Isaiah 2 verse 4. And the reason he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords and their spears in the pruning hooks. And this is what happens after all this happens. They're going to go up to the house of David. He's going to rebuke all of them and say, no, you're not supposed to be. And it's like in the pruning hooks, nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn the war anymore. And that's when we're under the new covenant. We're not under the new covenant because this hasn't happened yet. And you got these people out here talking about we the new covenant, we can't die. Well, whatever, bro. Whatever, man. We don't care. So that's something that's going on with. And while that's happening over here in America, Babylon the Great, they're saying the U.S. debt ceiling deal, U.S. House overwhelmingly passed. So it says a deal allowing the U.S. to borrow more money has moved closer to becoming law. Days before the world economy is due to start defaulting on its own debt. So they're going to borrow more money. And that's basically what they're doing. They're asking to, because they hit their borrowing limit yesterday. So they, they're just borrowing more money. And what is it saying? This about the scriptures about them borrowing. This is what he told Habakkuk. Habakkuk asked the Lord. He said, "How long are we gonna be in this bullshit? When are these heathens gonna go down?" And he was showing them in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, in Habakkuk chapter 2 and chapter 3, basically, the time that it was gonna take, for this to fall. Ezra's was too. Ezra's was wanting it to happen then, but the Lord said, it's not going to happen. Right. So this Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6, shall not these take up a parable against him? When you look at that word parable, it means dark saying or parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases which is not his. How you increase what you not his? With borrow money? How long? And to him that laded himself with thick clay. You look up that word thick clay, it means debt. They're asking for more debt. That's all they're doing. Asking for debt. So, and what's crazy is, not really crazy, but what's pretty interesting to think about is the prophets. The majority of them, some of them are back in the spirit world, but the majority of them are back reading their. Just don't remember who they are. But I know this: they're in GMS. You don't want to believe me on that. I don't know a few of them in Man and Valor. Who knows? But I know that when you listen to Men of Valor, they double honors to the elders and apostles. Okay, a great millstone. You ain't getting no truth, no anybody else. If you didn't get it from Great Millstone, then you don't got it. You know what I mean? So this is just like to show that the Lord has brought the prophets back again in their destiny and their lot. Two things they preached last time, the same song. You ever heard if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If he saved us out of Egypt last time, why would he change it? He's not going to change it. So we're going to start at verse 58. Wait. Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Yeah, 68. So we're going to start right here and show you that this is the Lord bringing them back, and showing that he wanted to show, like, the reason why the prophets came back is to receive their reward, okay, for all the times they died for Yahawashi, all the times they prophesied, all the work that they did. So this is verse 68. Blessed be the Lord power, Yahawashi of Israel, for he had and redeemed his people. See, he visited them again, and have raised up the horn of salvation, which is power. Horn means power. Is in salvation for us is in the house of his servant David. That's why he said, I will raise up the temple in the last days, the third, which is the tabernacle of David, which is a spiritual temple, since he spake by his mouth of the holy prophets, which have been since the world began. You see, which is also says it in Daniel 17. They've been here. That's why he also told Isaiah. He told Jeremiah, that's before you even came in the belly, I knew thee. So this is verse 71, that we should be saved from our enemies, from the hand of all that hate us, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, because we are our forefathers. That's why we're bringing back into a holy covenant. See, to remember his holy covenant. What's that holy covenant? The first covenant. The second covenant establish the first covenant and bring them together through Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham. See, that's how we know he's talking about the Old Testament as well. It's not done away with. That he would grant comfort out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. You know, and the only reason why we're able to even follow to the best of our of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi sacrifice. That's why it's so important, you know, that he did that. In holiness and righteousness before him all the our life. And thou, child, shalt be called the prophet of the highest, for thou shalt go before the face of the Lord, thou shalt, to prepare his ways. What's his ways? Justice and judgment to those that are habitation of salvation unto his people by remission of their sins, through the tender mercy of our power, whereby the day spring from on high have visited us. And see, we're in this time seeing that the Lord visited us again, back again, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down, and Great Millstone to the ones who cling to the body like me. So, you know, and the reason why we give them credit is because we know that we're called. You know, we know they were called. They're chosen. So why would we be down here saying that we're chosen? And you got people walking around and don't even do nothing for the Lord, talking about they the chosen. And smoking cigarettes. Like, I'm like, they don't understand, you know, what they're dealing with. So this is verse 78. The tender mercy of our power, whereby day spring on high have visited us, to give light to them that darkness, and in shadow and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace, and the grew and waxed strong in spirit, and was in the deserts to the day of his showing unto Israel. So that's how it is right now. That's us. That's us coming back to this truth, and we're doing this work for Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi till he returns. That's our job, to come speak about the things that we didn't understand back then, and now we understand them through our elders and apostles. They're not hitting the corner. They're able to make sense of this stuff, because that falling away already happened. Now it's being, you know, starting in the 60s with Abba Bibbins. So this is Hollywood actors vote overwhelming authorized strike. What kind of Lord put the spirit on me to deal with this is, you know, they don't usually come and do this doing a whole bunch of money. See, why are they doing that? Because they were lied to. They're not happy about being lied to. Now they're going to go back into slavery after all this. So they don't give a fuck about the money. You know, so Job chapter 20:17, I didn't want to read too much about it. You can go read it if you want. But the biggest reason why they're going into these, they're having all these, is because they were lied to. Just like they lied to their own people. So this is Job chapter 27, verse 1. Reads, if his children be multiplied, talking about Esau, even so-called white man, and the other 16 nations, it is for the sword. His offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. See, they're not satisfied they got a bunch of money now. Why? Because they know they're going into slavery either way. Isaiah, and they know. These are the demons who died in the flood, and they know, okay? Especially over there in the East, because in the East, most of them know incarnation is real. Over here in the West is where everybody's just confused. That's why it's called Babylon, confusion. They're confused. They think you really only live once here. So Isaiah 55, verse 2. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which is not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat that which is good, talking about spiritually, and let your soul delight itself in fatness, which is this is the truth. You know, we're supposed to delight ourselves in this word, you know, because everything else just comes to naught, you know. And that's why they're not satisfied with bread, because they don't have the bread of life. They don't have this truth. That's why even though they're money, they're not happy. They're still trying to go on strike. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13, when they get $100 billion just for acting. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 13, and it reads, love not sleep. Least thou come to open thine eyes, shall be satisfied with bread. And that's why we're not supposed to be resting here. It says this is not our rest. So we're not supposed to love and chilling and stuff and taking our time. And we're supposed to be hasting in this truth, you know. Also patient as well. Don't put off day to day, you know. Get in there and do the work. You know, so that's a little bit with that. Gonna go to this video 7. I don't have too much more left. Try to make it an hour this time. Yesterday I was in 2 hours. But it says how clash after viewing FBI document on Biden allegations. So just the other day I did a video talking about the FBI already talked about that. The FBI already handled that. This it's not you know right. You know, and the water sister for letting me know that you can hear me. The water. So you know, it talks about how now they're viewing the FBI document on the Biden. They've got evidence of this motherfucker. Okay, they know he going off, but you know, we know their positions of no value. So I'm just gonna type in what the Lord's got them doing. Okay, because the White House right now, all over the news, and the White House, they in there fighting each other, just like the Lord said He wanted them to. That's how we know we're getting to time. So this is Isaiah 19 verse 2, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and not let alone they're fighting Russia. They fighting their own shit, and Russia fighting themselves too. They got an overthrow going on in Russia as well. So it's just Esau Edom versus Esau Edom, all the way to the head, to the tail of them. They shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom. You know, and this is ultimately going to be Bahasham, Yahawashi, and the throne of King David versus these other nations. But right now, it's, you know, it's a smaller version of it. It's them going against each other, and their kingdoms going against each other. So verse 19, verse 3, and the reason the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy thereof. And how is he destroying? Dividing them. And they shall seek to the idols, their all their stuff that they got, all their gods that they were, and to the charmers, and they will, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards, but they're not going to comfort them this time. They're not going to comfort them. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord. Lock in. Over to a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. See, and that's going to be the one that, and the water shall fail from the sea, and the river shall be wasted and dried up. From what? The intercontinental ballistic missiles. You know, that's what's coming. You know, and we know why, because they in there arguing and all that, and you know, they just in there arguing, man. See, it says leaders clash. They're clashing over it. You know, you don't have to go too far into it. So this is Republican. China infiltration has reached a new high. Their tentacles are in everything we do. So I don't want to watch that video. I don't think that's got nothing to do with it, but I'm going to read a little bit of this. Mark reacted to a Chinese warship nearly colliding with the U.S. Navy in the time Monday, right? Calling the incident a provocation that was brought by the President Biden's weakness on the world stage. Here, it says, everything we do, they are in our cheap computers.
At PNC Bank, you can find us in towns across the U.S. where our focus is.
Yeah. So it says their computers are Wi-Fi systems. What else is connected to Wi-Fi? What else connects to this computer system? The stuff that's going to and keep them from hitting this place. And our cranes and seaports watching everything our Navy does. We got to make sure we are awake as America, Babylon, and great. The problem is this president looks on the world stage that Xi Jinping is a bully and bullies thrive on weakness. That's exactly what's happened. But why do they act like that? Why do they do that? You know, why do they do that? Because they learned on the great, because they're bullies. And this is what's going on with that. So I got this. I got a little bit more in them close out. So 28 verse 7. And it reads, Behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of them, and they shall defile thy brightness. How are they going to do that? They're watching them real closely and seeing all their weaknesses. They're going to jack this place up, trying to be the next rulers. But they don't understand Bahasham is going to be the one that jack this place up. You know, they're not going to get, really nothing. It's all going to come from destruction from the Almighty. Then he's going to kill their ass. And they all going to waver. Just like he said Biden doesn't understand the severity of China's threat. Well, y'all don't understand the severity of Yahawashi and his threat. So he can take y'all out. So right here, this is, coming to deal with some of these women that are very wicked, like this is a very wicked woman right here. Said Tennessee woman hiring hitman on dark web to kill her hiking buddy's wife. That's why, man, you gotta be careful with some of these women that you got those other camps where they got those little match sites. Well, she was accused of paying a hitman on a dark web wife of the hiking buddy she met on Match.com. Okay, so this all happened from Match.com. That's man, Eve can be wicked, man. That spirit of Eve is very wicked. Okay, gotta be careful. And really, Eve is starting with the Judite woman, the so-called black woman, but all women, come from Eve. She was the first. So be careful with that spirit, that real wicked Eve spirit, man. You get with somebody and they end up doing something like that, man. Crazy. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 9. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman wide house. That's what I'm saying. You don't want a woman that's gonna keep contesting you and coming up with all these negative thoughts who's gonna agree with you. You don't want no woman that's gonna be like that, because she might turn out being a real demon than her damn hitman. Like, that's crazy, man. Proverbs chapter 30, verse 20. Such is the way of an adulterous woman. Eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. And that's how a majority of these women are here. Not the ones that are in the truth. They repentant and they back and follow into the best of their abilities. Yeah, they're gonna go off sometimes. We the men even make mistakes and go off. Like, we can't expect y'all to be perfect. We're not. But the Lord, is very strict with what kind of woman he has. So y'all have to set that standard, and can't be messing up like that. It's just how the Lord said it. Set it up, because he's dealing with his men. So you want to make sure, you really taking that accountability and understanding that the Lord, he deals with his women, he shows women dreams and visions, but it's not going anywhere further than that. Like, you guys to be connected to those men. That's the only way you're getting out of here. You got to go to them, and I'm not saying that there's people that's not going to maybe have, a man and get saved, even if you're not got a man of the Lord and stuff. I'm not saying that, but if all supposed to be body, that's part of y'all. That's part of the woman's portion, to serve someone who's serving Yahawashi. Because you're not going to get saved off of knowing doctrine and breakdowns and stuff. You're going to get saved off of how you serve your husband. You see? So 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12, and it reads, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor usurp authority to man, but to be in silence. That don't mean you can't talk to your husband. It's just talking about being in silence when it comes to this doctrine. And then also have to, if you're a woman and you're planning on getting with a man, you want to try to follow those guidelines to the best of your abilities, because you're not supposed to be getting taught by other men. And if you got a man, you getting taught by another man, it could cause a disruption in the marriage. That's why I hate that rule. We got to try to look at it not with our feelings and see why the Lord set it up that way, because don't. So we don't, Lord's not going to tell you something and not help. That's all I'm saying. So that in mind, if you do meet somebody, y'all actually get together. This is stuff I got to keep in mind. Because I'm finna. So 1 John chapter 3 verse 8, and it reads, "He that committed sin is of the devil, for the devil sinned. For this purpose, the Son of Power, which is Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, was manifested that he might destroy the devil, and he will destroy the works of the devil." So this is Psalms chapter 6 verse 9. I got 2 more precepts and I'm done. So Psalms chapter 6 verse 9, and it reads, "The Lord have heard my supplication. The Lord will receive my supplication." What do we pray? Second Esdras 8 verse 13. "And thou shalt mortify it as thy creature and quit it as." And see, and that's what we're asking for. We're asking for the Lord to shorten these days, to quicken, hurry up this work so we make them, So verse 14, "If thou shalt destroy him that which labor was fashioned, it is an easy thing to be ordained by thy commandment, that the thing which was made be preserved." And that's what we pray for, to be preserved. Through praying, praying and fasting and doing everything best to speed the times up, asking the Lord to curse these other nations, and edifying the flock to the best of our abilities. So that's what I got. The Lord put the spirit on me to deal with today. Lord willing, it was edifying. Salakia for internet problems. Lord willing, I'll be able to get to a point where I don't have those internet problems pretty soon. Lord willing, turn my life around in a matter of 3-4 months. I've been, I still go through stuff, but the Lord really, man, only how about some straight turn my life around. Things that I was like, man, I don't know, and I just did. So that's just one thing about the Lord. Like, our ways, this is not His ways. So the water for tuning in. I want to give all praise to Yahawah, Qadash. This is a great millstone, led me to the truth. I've been ordained by the Lord to teach the flock how to live, repent, pray, fast, and so forth. The Lord's right to their abilities. And it showed through mercy, judgment, forgiveness, and wrath to all those who are part of the Lord. Willing to be edifying to those who fear in the name of the Lord and striving to show forth the Lord's righteousness every day to the best of their abilities. Verse 5, but it's not slack. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. It's unto a ring. 2 Ezra chapter 5, verse 42. The water for tuning in, ball. Lord willing, we can get back and do another lesson. So shalom.